You might not be dating or even sleeping with a particular person, but you talk to them so much, you share things you don't share with other people, and they are always the first person you run to. I need you to understand that this emotional bond is so dangerous because it blocks the real relationship that God has for you. And on today's video, I'll be showing you how emotional affairs block your destiny partner and how they delay you from settling down. Let's get right into the teaching. Now, the first thing I want to define is what an emotional affair is. An emotional affair is when you are involved or you give emotional intimacy to somebody that you are not in covenant with, someone you're not even in a relationship with. Okay, so you gave emotional intimacy to someone you're not married to or in a relationship with. So this is when we hear these terms such as work husband, work wife, or you are best friends with an opposite gender, or friends with an ex-lover. So these are the type of relationships that create this emotional bond that, and when you look at it at a surface level, it doesn't look or seem dangerous, but you don't realize that it is hindering your God-given spouse, because as long as this affair is going on, there is no vacant area for your God-given spouse to come and fill. Okay, so you might be asking me, Sister Joy, what are the signs that I might be in an emotional or be having an emotional affair with somebody? Because I'm really a nice person, so I just want to know, where do we draw the line? Okay, so the first thing that you have to realize is that you share more with this person than you share with your spouse. Okay, especially married couples, you'll realize that if there's somebody outside of your marriage that you are venting to more, talking to more, that's very dangerous. Okay, you are already in an emotional affair. If you're not married, if there's a particular opposite gender person that you are always talking about, you want to vent to, you want to open and be vulnerable to, yeah, emotional affair. Number two, you think about them constantly. Remember, because there is an actual bond going on, so they are always occupying your mind. Remember, your soul consists of the mind, will, and emotions. So because you are emotionally bound to the person, joined to the person, they will occupy your mind. Okay. Number three, rather, you hide or downplay the relationship. You get like, when they say, you and this person, you guys are dating, or are you guys close? What's going on between you and this person? You're like, no, nothing is happening. You downplay and act stuff like there's no emotional bond, even when you know that you spend hours upon hours talking to that person on the phone call every day. Something is going on. Okay. Then number four, you feel guilty about the relationship. You see, especially if you are committed to somebody or you are married, if you are in a relationship, or maybe you are having an emotional, or you share emotional intimacy with somebody, and there is guilt attached to that relationship you're having, then it means that it's an emotional affair, because you are not supposed to feel guilty. It means that you are giving somebody something that doesn't belong to them. That's why that specific relationship will make you feel uncomfortable and guilty. Then the last one is you get defensive when someone questions you about that relation with the particular person. When they say, you and this person are dating, you're like, no, we are not. Don't you know that opposite genders they can be friends, but you know that maybe secretly you might like the person, or you and this person have a really, really, really deep intimacy, like a deep bond, where it's as if like you guys are boyfriend and girlfriend. You talk in the morning, you talk in the evening, you spend hours upon hours on phone calls. That is very dangerous. Okay. Now, I want to show you how these emotional affairs block your destiny partner. A lot of you are praying, you are fasting for God to release your God-given spouse. But as long as this emotional bond is still intact, that person is not going to come. So let me show you how these bonds block your God-given spouse. Okay. So the first one is that because the bond exists, then it means that your heart is already occupied. As I said in the beginning, there's no vacant space for the spouse to come and fill. So the person you have an emotional bond with is occupying the space that the person that God wants to bring in your life is supposed to be in. So someone is sitting in the wrong position, and that is your fault. You, instead of allocating the person the right position, you decided to put them in your heart. And it's going to be very difficult for that God-given spouse to be released by God, because according to God, you are not single. Okay. Then you always compare them with everyone. It's like they become your standard. It's like, no, but this one, she's like this, she's like that, or he's like this, he's like that. It's as if like this person is the standard you ought to vet people like. It's like you are basically looking for this individual in other people. So that's why you constantly compare people to them, because you are looking for that person you have an emotional bond with in the new people that you are going to meet in your life. Okay. Then the third one is that you are not fully available. Okay, this is the same thing with point number one, where your heart is occupied. You're not fully available. Yes, you are not in a relationship with the person, but the truth is you are not available. So in the outward, because you don't have a partner, it's going to look like you are available. But because there's actually an emotional bond that is happening in your soul, you are not fully available. Okay, someone is occupying a portion of your soul. All right. Then number 4, the last one, is that it creates soul ties. Okay, as I've explained in the previous video where I taught about how Satan uses soul ties to keep you in all seasons, I told you that soul ties, they form because of the mind, emotions, and sometimes sexual relations. So you don't have to sleep with someone. It could be the fact that you guys are talking a lot, always talking. It forms a bond, okay? Conversations facilitate bonds. So that emotional connection and bond you have with that person will create a soul tie. Now your soul is tied to the person. Remember the scripture that told us that Jonathan loved David with his whole soul, with his entire soul, and his soul was knit to David. So it's very, very possible that the more you keep on being close to this person, it is forming an emotional bond that you might not be able to recover from. All right. So now the consequence of all of this, right, is the fact that God will hold your partner until you close the door. Okay. The problem is you are not seeing that this emotional bond is detriment to your own marital settlement. So God will withhold the partner until you take the decision to move away from the relationship. Okay. Now I know you might be watching, Sister Joy, please help me. I am in an emotional affair and I want to break free. There's somebody that I'm close to. We are not dating or we are not married, but we have this bond, and I know that I can't get married to them, or I might not, I might not want to be committed to them or be in a relationship with them, but I really, really love and enjoy their company. So how do I break this thing? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's get into it. So the first thing you need to do is to be honest with yourself. You need to be honest with yourself. Just be honest. You really, really like the attention you're getting from this person. You like the fact that this person is filling a void. So you need to be honest and acknowledge the fact that there is a void inside of you that needs to be filled, and you're just using this person as a placeholder until the person that you truly desire comes in your life, or maybe a person that is attractive approaches you. So you need to be very honest with yourself and just accept that you are using this person as a placeholder. There is a void inside of you. There is brokenness that you're not willing to face. So you are using this person as an scapegoat. Okay. Number 2, you need to set boundaries or end the friendship. Okay. If you're going to be friends with an opposite gender, you can't be calling every day. I mean, unless you guys are in a process of getting to know each other with the potential of being in a relationship, that's okay. But if the relationship has been defined to friendship, you cannot be, blurring the lines. You talk every day, good morning, how are you, good night. Every day, good morning, good night, good morning, good night, good morning, on the call for hours, as if like you guys are in a relationship. I don't think that's normal. You need to set boundaries or accept the fact that this friendship is a liability and it's going to cost you more than you're willing to lose. So you're going to cut your losses. All right. Number 3, you have to guard your heart. Remember, because you guys are having an emotional intimacy, your heart is opened, right? So you're going to give your heart, and this person will not be in your heart. And that's why you will constantly look for them in different people, because you are not really aware that you love this person, but you do really, really have become fond of the person. That's why you can't stop talking to them. You get? So you have to guard your heart. Then the last one is you need to ask God to prepare you for the real thing. Okay, you must ask God to prepare you for the real thing. Sometimes you have to go through that season where there is nobody you're talking to, where it's just you and God and your thoughts, journaling, praying, crying. That would be God preparing you for the right person, because you don't realize that the more you keep on having emotional intimacy with people, you are robbing yourself of the opportunity to heal and deal with yourself, so that when the right person comes, they don't have to deal with the emotional baggage that you come with, right? So it's so important that if you were involved in any emotional affair with anybody in 2026, cut those relationships. They are delaying you. They are wasting your time. They might not look dangerous, but they are stopping you from receiving that God-given love that God has designed for you. So let me know in the comment section what stood out for you. Which one of these solutions stood out for you? Let me know. 1, was it setting the boundaries or ending the friendship? 2, was it guarding your heart or asking God to prepare you? Let me know in the comment section between these 3. Are you in a process where you need to ask God to prepare you for the person you're praying for? Or you feel like maybe you were too open with your heart? Or you didn't have boundaries with this person and maybe it's time for you to let go of the friendship? Let me know. I cannot wait to read your comment as we learn these spiritual teachings together. My name is Sister Joy, the girl behind Jakucha Jesus Joy. Thank you so much for tuning in on today's video as we are learning these relationship and destiny series together. So don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Join this beautiful family as we learn together. I will see you on yet another spiritual teaching from me to you. It's Shalom.